23% over the last year, rents falling by 10%. That was the largest decline in history. But the most troubling sign right now for the nation's largest rental market is the number of empty apartments. There are now 13,000 apartments listed for rent in Manhattan. That is an all-time high and more than double last year's total. Now, this is especially bad news for New York, since July and August are usually the strongest month for rentals as families prepare to go to school. It is still expensive in Manhattan. The average one-bedroom rents for $3,500 a month. But with so many people leaving the city, landlords are now offering an average of 1.7 months of free rent just to get tenants. Now, about half of all apartments in Manhattan are owned by small business owners, and without the rent, they may be unable to pay their workers and property taxes. And since property taxes in New York are the largest source of revenue, these rental declines could start to affect services, which, Rahel, could affect the attractiveness of New York and lead to even fewer rentals. So it's a bit of a spiral right now.
That's interesting. And then, Robert, I would also imagine that for these small business owners, especially if you have fewer tenants, it becomes obviously harder to pay your mortgage.
Pay your mortgage, and there's some forbearance there, but the big issue is on the city revenues and the workforce and the entire economy in New York that is built on real estate. It's sales, it's rentals, it's management. It really probably is the first or second most important industry. And so financially, for a city that's facing a $10 billion deficit, this is getting to be a problem.
And I have to wonder, before I let you go, Robert, is this something that you expect to be perhaps short term, or is this something that might be long term? You know, anecdotally speaking, I know a lot of friends in the city who are talking about leaving, and they have no plans on returning.
Yeah, initially everyone thought this was temporary, maybe for the spring and maybe the summer. Now more and more people are putting their kids in school in the Hamptons, in Connecticut, in the Hudson Valley. And so, you know, about 500,000 people left. What you asked is the big question. How many of those 500,000 people will return to New York City? And